Good night, everyone. Welcome to the Alonzo Bash podcast. Hope all is doing well. Tonight, we're going to kick it off. Tonight, we've got a special guest. Tonight, we're talking to the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Washington, D.C., Mr. Wiloughby Francis. And we don't want to waste no time. I'm going to get him right away. There you go, Mr. Francis. Welcome.
Welcome. How are you?
We have a lot to talk about tonight, so I don't want to waste no time.
All right.
Welcome. First time. How are you doing?
Yes. I'm doing good.
All right. Nice.
Just recuperating from a whole day of distributing turkey hampers yesterday.
Yes. So you're going to get into that. Today wasn't the last day, was it?
Today was the day when the normal people pick up their turkeys from the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Metropolitan Seventh-day Adventist Church.
All right, cool. All right, so before we start about the association, I want to get a little background about yourself. And, obviously, you're from Trinidad and Tobago, I presume.
Right, yeah. I migrated from Trinidad and Tobago in 1976.
Okay.
And when I got here, I was told I had to join the Trinidad and Tobago Association, which I did. And I was almost immediately appointed to the board of directors. And I served as a member of the board and then the president for one term. And then a lot of things happened in between then. I raised two kids, a daughter and a son, who are both grown, and I'm now a grandfather. And during all that time, I worked in communications, in telecommunications, and data communications. And then for a portion of that time, still in the community, I was a member of the Trinidad and Tobago Masqueraders Band.
Okay.
Which participated in carnivals in Atlanta and carnivals in DC.
Yeah.
And all during that time, I was also a DJ. I DJ'd at the Trinidad and Tobago Association's facility for many years.
Okay. So what was the DJ name?
It was DJ Ecstasis.
Okay. All right. Nice.
So I did that from, I think, 78 probably until 90 or something like that. So I saw the transition from records to CDs and what have you.
Yeah.
And so I kind of packed that up when my son started taking it over.
Okay.
He's DJ Hazard, and so he does that now. I only do it for grown folks.
That's where Hazard got it from. I know Hazard very well.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. Okay, I never knew he was his dad. Look at that.
Okay.
Small world. So
Yes.
So you've been around for a while. You've been around.
Correct.
You're well seasoned, I would say. So
Yes.
All right. So how long? So you say you started with the association back in was it the late 70s?
Yeah, in 77, 70. Well, I got here in 70. Sorry, I got here in 77.
Yeah.
So I literally joined a couple of weeks after I got here.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So okay, let's piggyback a
Now, a
little
little bit of history about that is that my uncles in-law were founding members, were part of the founding members of the association.
Right.
So whenever they would come down to Trinidad,
Yeah.
they would talk about two things: the Trinidad and Tobago Association and the Redskins. Right. So when I came up here, I was expected to join the association. That's how I immediately got involved.
Okay, nice. So it's safe to say the association started in what year specifically?
I believe, of course I wasn't here then, so I think it started somewhere around 62, 63, somewhere around the time that Trinidad and Tobago became independent.
Wow. So you guys,
It was founded by a group of Howard University students, some of whom also played soccer.
Yes. So it pretty much was founded at Howard. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, it was born out of the Howard community. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's move up a little bit. So the association obviously been wrong a long time. A matter of fact, I believe a couple of weeks ago you guys got I think I want to mess the word up. Is proclamation?
Yes.
Yes. So congratulations on that. I want to be totally.
It wasn't really the association that got the proclamation. It was Trinidad. The mayor proclaimed the Republic Day, Trinidad and Tobago's Republic Day, Trinidad and Tobago Day in Washington D.C. So it wasn't something. It was done as a result of our involvement in the celebration. We have an interfaith service every year, and it's celebrated by faith leaders of pretty much all kinds. As you know, Trinidad is very cosmopolitan. So we have Catholics, Anglicans, Hindus, Baptists, Muslim, you name it. So they all participate in this service, and we come together and celebrate the Republic Day on that day.
Okay. Make a lot of sense. Thanks for clarifying. All right, so I would say from my observation, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been kind of critical of the association for the last couple of years, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I was thinking about this before I even asked the question. So obviously, every day there's a new 18-year-old, a new 21-year-old, a new immigrant to the area, right?
Yes.
Obviously, that takes a certain level of not just consistency, but kind of keeping the younger generation involved to kind of keep up with the pace of how information and so forth. So that kind of understand, because one of the things I've noticed of lately, the association, as if revamp is the right word to use, it seems to be a little more active within the last couple of years in the community as far as getting younger people involved and so forth. So I want to kind of touch base with that, and also understand you guys have a lot of committees inside the association.
Yeah, correct. Well, there's a reason why you're seeing a little bit more visibility from the Trinidad and Tobago Association.
Yeah.
Historically, we have been, or we've wanted to be, a community-based organization.
Yeah.
And especially during the years when we had a property on Georgia Avenue, we were very active primarily in entertainment. And the reason for that was we had a mortgage to pay. And every Friday and Saturday night, we would have events. We would have students from Howard, students from other universities participate in those parties and so on. As a result, a lot of people thought that the Trinidad and Tobago Association was a club.
Yeah.
We were not intended to be a club, and we are not a club. We appear that way because of the necessity to pay a mortgage for a building that was not occupied 7 days a week.
Right, fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
Eventually, we ran into some difficulties with the district government, and we had to stop those parties.
Okay.
And when we had to stop those parties, it meant that there was no income, and with no income meant we either had to lose that property or get rid of that property. Fortunately, we were able to work out a deal where we were able to sell the property and not lose it.
Yeah.
So we sold the property and we went dormant for a while.
Okay.
And then COVID came and we really went dormant.
Yeah.
When I said we went dormant for a while, because we had no place to meet, we did not have many meetings.
Yeah.
Then COVID came and things really got quiet.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, a few of the members decided that we really had to get this thing started again.
Yeah.
Because we had some funds in the bank from the sale of the property, and we still had an association that we wanted to revive. And it had gone for a couple of years, and we decided, look, let's get this going. So we had an emergency meeting outside of the Constitution, because the Constitution required general meetings every year. But since that did not happen, this had to be an emergency meeting. We put together a committee that was supposed to revamp the organization and get it back on track.
Yeah.
And I got involved in with that committee, and this happened during COVID.
Yeah.
I got involved with that committee, and we started doing virtual events
Okay.
and virtual meetings and so on. So we had a couple of steel band concerts and stuff like that. And the idea was to get gigs for the gigging steel band players and what have you.
Right.
And while that was going on, we had a website that was dormant. It literally was never updated.
Yeah.
And we found a vendor who was able to provide us with a website that served associations.
Yeah.
And as a result, we started doing some more social media stuff. Well, mainly website stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, we did some investments with the funds, and we started having outreach and what have you. And it grew to a point where a lot more people were hearing about it. We were sending out mail through the website and what have you. And we started getting the attention of some people, like yourself, I guess, because people began to realize
yeah, there was around.
Where is this? Who is this association? You know? And I was then appointed president, not last year, in June of 2023.
Okay.
And we were still trying to find our way.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we realized, well, we realized several things. One of them was that we weren't attracting young members. We weren't. There was too much of a generation gap because the average age of the regular attendees was probably somewhere in the 50s or 60s.
Right.
Whereas, as you say, there are 18-year-olds and college students and what have you coming in the area that are Trinidadians or of Trinidad and Tobagonians or of Trinbago descent. So we wanted to try to build, to close that gap. We also found that people were asking, especially the younger people who knew nothing about the association, when you approach them to join, they would ask, "What is in it for me?"
Right.
And we realized that the executive itself couldn't do everything on its own.
Right.
So we decided to structure the organization into these committees. One of the things that we had been doing, or we had started earlier in the game, was to revamp our scholarship fund, which currently gives out about $5,000 to $2,000 grants every year.
Okay.
Our goal was to grow that into something that's much larger.
Yeah.
So in order to get corporate funds, we started a movement to get 501c3 status for the scholarship fund, which meant that we had to kind of build a firewall between the association and the scholarship fund itself, because that entity would have to run itself. It would have to have its own board of directors and so on. And the goal is that within the next 10 to 15 years or so, we want to be able to give full scholarships and not $1,000 scholarships or grants, as we call it.
Okay.
So that's one thing that we are working on, and it's moving quite nicely. That has its own board, and we are in the process of getting the 501c3 status. Now, the rest of the business of the organization was one. We had to build a good way of taking care of the members and expanding the membership and creating membership benefits and stuff like that. So we have a membership committee. Then we have a special events committee that does all our event planning and so on. We have an internal outreach committee that takes care of the membership, like birthdays, graduations, bereavement, stuff like that. We have an external outreach, which allows us to communicate and reach out and partner with other external organizations, because although we are the Trinidad and Tobago Association, there are several other Trinidad and Tobago organizations in the community.
Yep.
And we can't be a strong community if we don't partner with each other. My word to everybody is unity is strength. So I want to talk to every other Trinidadian and work with them if necessary. No one man is an island, right?
Yeah.
And there are other committees that support what we do. Like we do some branding, so we have a marketing and merchandising committee, and then we have a communications committee which takes care of the website and supposed to expand our social media and so on. So those are the things that we want to make sure are functioning, not strictly by the board, but we want to find talent outside of the board that can work with these board chairs, so that it takes a lot of off of the shoulder of the executive. When there's a membership issue, I don't have to do it myself. I can ask the board, the chairman of the membership committee, so what's going on with this, or how are we taking care of membership benefits and stuff like that. So one of the big things that we are doing right now is every Christmas we've been having, or this is the second year, we are having a membership Yuletide affair where all financial members attend free of charge.
Okay.
It's a what do you call it? An all-inclusive thing, and the value of a ticket, if you are not a member, is $75.
Okay.
Whereas the cost of membership per year is $50. So for $50 a year, you're getting a $75 benefit by coming to this event. So those kinds of things we're working on, and the expectation is that once those committees are functioning properly, we'll have a machine that will push the organization forward.
Make a whole lot of sense. I'm going to piggyback a little bit, but you did mention one thing though that I myself, been in the community for a while. I've noticed there's a lot of organizations, well, Trinidad and Tobago, or branches, if that's the right word to use, of organizations in the DMV. Right. And a lot of times, I consider myself a kind of young oldie. A lot of us hear the names, but we don't know the faces and we don't know what they do. You know what I mean? So one of the things, when I heard you guys, big up to Kizzy, she's the one that kind of reached out to me and told me about it, and I was very excited about it and say, hey, so, whatever. That's all right, cool. Because I've been critical, like I mentioned to you before, and it makes a whole lot of sense now. And moving forward, like I said, there's a lot of organizations. I myself personally would like to invite them so they can let people know exactly what they do and how we as some of us are first generation, second generation, whatnot, can benefit from some of these programs. So I'm going to ask you, what's the requirement to join the association, the Trinidad and Tobago Association?
I'll go all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Because that sets the precedent. Back at the beginning, you needed to be a Trinidad and Tobagonian, or a descendant of a Trinidad and Tobagonian. There weren't that many of them then.
Well, when we say descendant, we gotta break this down, right?
So it's very simple. Either parent or grandparent is from Trinidad and Tobago, right? And the other thing back then was, if you were from the Caribbean or if you were from the diaspora and you had an affinity to hanging out with Trinidad and Tobagonians, you were welcome to join once you pay the membership fee. Because back then there was no other island-based association. So we had a lot of people from Guyana, we had people from Africa, from Ghana, we had a couple of Jamaicans and stuff like that. So, we welcomed anybody who wanted to be a part of the organization. Back in those days, I think some of the things they had a newspaper called Airi, that came out, I think, on a weekly basis.
Okay.
One of the older heads will be able to correct me if I was wrong about that.
Yeah.
And we used to have a lot of academic type debating and all that kind of stuff, because all these guys were in Howard and what have you.
Right.
So, but today, if you want to belong to the association, the same thing applies, and we pretty much welcome anybody.
Welcome anybody. Okay,
Yeah.
well that's nice to know. Now this is where it gets technical. All right. So to qualify for some of the scholarship programs you guys have, what's the requirements for that?
Okay, that is on the website. I'm not intimately familiar with all of it, but I know that number one, the student has to be registered in a tertiary college or trade school.
Okay.
Right? They have to be registered, because when we donate the funds, we send it directly to the school.
Okay.
Right. So we need proof that they're registered.
Yeah.
Secondly, they have to show that they have to send us an essay telling us what they're all about, and what they're trying to achieve and what have you. And there's a panel of the committee that reviews it, and if it looks like they warrant the grant, we send the grant to them. But all of the guidelines are outlined on TTADC.org, our website.
TTADC.org.
Right.
All right. Fair enough. Oh, I thought you were saying something. Sorry.
No.
Yeah. All right. So moving forward. So let's talk about it. Now it's Thanksgiving time. One more week before Thanksgiving, you guys have turkey drive. You want to touch base on that a little bit?
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that. Going back to what I was talking about, the external outreach.
Yeah.
We actually started this 3 years ago.
Okay.
With an organization called Carry Safe.
Yes.
It's run by a young man called Sheldon. Why am I forgetting his name? Anyway, everybody knows him as S. Dot.
Yeah, we never S. Dot. I forgot
S. Dot, right? Yeah. And
Chandler, Sheldon Chandler.
Chandler, right? Yeah. Last year when I got involved, another entity got involved as well, and this group is run by Arthur Griffith. It's Carry Festa. Right. So the three organizations get together, and essentially what we do is we come up with a plan to raise sufficient funds. Last year it was to purchase 200 turkeys.
Yeah.
And once we purchase those turkeys, we take them to the Metropolitan Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Okay.
On Riggs Road. Now, what the Metropolitan Seventh-day Adventist Church does is they feed the less fortunate. I think it's every week on a Wednesday.
Wow.
But you have to be registered and show that you are in need in order to receive whatever they're giving. So we just participate in the Thanksgiving piece.
Okay.
When we give them these turkeys, we tell our people who call and express a desire to receive a hamper to go there and register, so that on the day they give out the turkeys, which was today, they can go there. They would have already been registered, and they do have to line up to get this thing. I don't know if you've been there around Thanksgiving time, but the line is long. And it's a first come, first serve basis.
Sorry, that's the make sure I follow you. So you have to register with the church, and is a specific day to pick up the turkey. You saying?
Yeah, the day to pick up the turkey was the 20th, which was today.
Okay.
Right. So if I was registered, I would go there. I'd try to get there early enough that I don't have to stay too long. Yeah. And I would get the turkey, and I would get some other foodstuffs that the church would normally give to all of the recipients.
Okay.
What we also do is we canvass the shut-ins in our community, and and normally we come up with about 10, and we collect those hampers the day before, which was yesterday.
Okay.
Collect those hampers, and we distribute them to those 10 people.
Yeah.
So that's what I was busy doing yesterday, and car was loaded up with all these boxes and what have you, and taking these things to those folks.
Yeah.
So and the way we collect the funds is we have a donation button on our website that specifically allows people to donate to the Turkey Thanksgiving giveaway.
Yeah.
And you can donate whatever you like, and the funds that we receive from that is what we use to purchase the turkeys.
The turkeys. Yeah.
Right. And this has gone so well with the three of us, is that with these three organizations, that we are talking about probably doing something else along the same kind of lines, because we are all about giving back to the community, in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. That makes a whole lot.
Yeah, and we want to do that with other organizations. One other thing that we are doing on the 30th of November,
yes,
RAPTT, which is the Women's Roundtable of Trinidad and Tobago, they are having a walk in aid of bringing awareness to the to cruelty or violence against women and girls.
Yes.
And that is on our website, and folks can go in there and buy a T-shirt. All you're required to do is to either buy a T-shirt or buy a sweater and go down and walk. It's down on the Roosevelt Island, off of GW Parkway, and basically we walk to show solidarity that this violence against women and girls is not a good thing, and they're trying to bring awareness to that. We had them on our last meeting talking about what it is all about. And we're going to have, there's another lady that has an organization that is specifically geared towards preventing violence against women and girls. We're going to have them sometime within the next couple of months to talk about what they're doing. So we want essentially to let all of the organizations know what other people, what the rest of us are doing, so that the community is involved or is aware.
Yes.
To lift community awareness of what each little group is doing, and everybody has their own, their own
mission, so to speak.
And this is how we see. This is the best way we see about doing it. There's no point saying, why don't you belong to this? Let's partner. Unity is strength. And if we partner with, and what we're doing right here, I'm not sure what your organization is, if it's just from a media standpoint, but that brings awareness to what we're all about. And it also tells the community that, hey, this organization is looking out for not just Trinidad and Tobago Association, but the other Trinidad and Tobago type organizations in the DMV.
Yeah. I mean, that's what really, to be honest with you, that's really one of my main goals, is really and truly, like I said, when I first started this thing, it started from being around for a while, and you hear these conversations, and a lot of time there's a lot of misconceptions, because sometimes I sit on both sides of the table, because I hear this point of view and I hear that point of view, and I really wanted people that actually have the facts or who actually involved to let people know how things kind of work and what's really, really going on within our community. Because a lot of times, we West Indians, we like to laugh, we like to, have fun and get the vibes, whatever. But sometimes it's very important topics that we really need to address.
Yeah.
So you have an event also coming up next month.
Right. And I mentioned that a little bit earlier. That's a Yuletide affair.
Yes.
And that's our big membership celebration, so to speak. Is our way of giving back to the members.
Yes.
People ask, why belong to the association? Well, or what's in it for me? Well, for your membership, you're getting to come. We're going to fet you. We're going to feed you. We're going to make you feel happy at Christmas time. And that's going to be on I think it's the 8th of December.
8th of December.
Out in Bowie.
Yes.
The West Bowie Hall. And members are free once you're a financial member.
Yes.
and non-members pay $75. Food and drink is free, and there's going to be there are going to be two DJs,
Okay.
DJ Wayne and Super Splice,
Super
and
size.
then and then there's going to be an iron section as well. And
Okay.
this year we are going to be celebrating it in the name of one of the members of the iron section who passed about a week or so ago.
Yes. Yes. I did hear
Mhm.
about that. That is name.
Sheldon, I believe, was it? No, Brandon, I think was his name.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything. I don't want. I've got the info, but I can't remember the person's name.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty much a really, really good look. You guys really been doing a lot of work behind the scenes.
Well, we are trying, and like I was telling one of our members, we have to take a step at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yes.
It's going to take some time for us to get up to speed.
Yes.
Locomotives don't reach their top speed like that.
Yes.
They chug and chug and chug until they get to a top speed, and we have to be able to get to that speed and to be able to control it as well.
Yeah.
So gradually we're gonna get there. We may make mistakes, and we want people to point out to us when we are making mistakes. That's why I was all ears when you said that you heard the good and the bad. And if we are doing something wrong, we want to know about it.
Yeah.
Because you may think you're doing something right, or you're doing right by somebody, but until you walk in their shoes,
Yeah.
you can't tell whether it's right or not.
That's
So
true.
you have to you have 2 years for a reason.
Yeah.
You have to listen to what they have to say, and if it's necessary to apologize and fix whatever it is, you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to ask a question. I want to piggyback again with the scholarship program, and most of your donations come from people that want to donate to the program or to the scholarship fund,
Currently, yes.
so to speak. What about the Caribbean businesses here in the DMV? Do you
Right.
have you guys?
So we've received donations from some of the businesses,
Yes.
but as I said, well, yes, we have received from the businesses. Our goal is to maximize the opportunity of these philanthropists to give, because some of these people want to give, but there's no tax write-off, and business people like to get tax write-offs. So that's the reason why we have to get the 501c3 in place.
Yes.
Because right now the organization as it is a 501c4.
Yes.
Which means that if you were to donate to us, you don't get a tax write-off. But when you're a 501c3 organization, then any donation that is made to that organization can be written off on your taxes. So yes, we are not very aggressively going after the businesses right now.
Yes.
But we are building to a point where we can make the announcement that we are now a 501c3 organization and what our goals are, so that they can try to align themselves with what our goals are, so that they can provide us with a bigger gift than just telling them we have a scholarship fund and we give out $1,500 a month, a person.
All right, man. I mean, listen, man. You what we call an easy interview. You have all the facts. I already have tax questions. Everything I think about, you already answer. So, you came well prepared. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
I've been. I have to tell you that I've been well coached.
Yeah.
Over the years, we have one gentleman in particular.
Yeah.
That has been a member from almost the very beginning.
Wow.
And you may have heard his name. His name is Nigel Scott.
Yeah.
And he's a very quiet but deep thinker.
Yeah.
And he likes to say, these ideas come to me in the middle of the night. Right? And you can call him at 11, 12 o'clock if
Yeah.
you know if you associated with him that way, and
Yeah.
you can have a discussion with him. I mean, I remember one time when we were talking about we had all of these we had all our funds in a bank account
Yes.
when
Yes.
we restarted, and we were debating how we going to invest these funds. And I
Yes.
remember I was in Trinidad, and
Mm.
he and I were going backward and forward,
Uh,
with my opinion and his opinion and what have you. And at the end of the day, we came up with a plan,
right.
and we have the funds invested in two instruments right now.
Yes.
And at the time, it took a dive because the economy kind of went down, but now it's back up, and we're seeing some growth and stuff like that. But
Yes.
I owe a lot of my guidance from him,
Yes.
and also another long time member, Mr. Jeff Smith,
Okay.
who is on the board, and of course our Vice President Claudia Carter,
Hmm.
who is Madam what events. She's in charge of all of our events.
Yeah.
Her career, I think, was built on event planning and what have you. She used to work for
Okay.
the World Bank, so
Okay.
see, we have some pretty good people. I also want to shout out Nigel's son,
Mm.
Dwayne Scott, who
Okay.
is the chairman of the scholarship fund.
Okay. Okay.
And he is doing some good work in that area.
Yeah.
I need to shout out Kizzy,
Yes.
Kizan Lee.
Mm.
She came highly recommended by our secretary,
Okay.
Carlos Simon. Carlos
Yes.
is an ex-military guy.
Mhm.
Also, a lot of this behind the scenes kind of stuff. Very strong, but he kept telling me about this Kizzy,
Yeah.
and eventually when I talked to her, I mean, she's a bundle of energy. You know her.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I've
Very-
been hearing that she's talking to everybody
Yes.
about joining the Trinidad and Tobago Association. So
Yes.
she's she's doing a fantastic job as well.
Yes.
In addition to that, we have another quiet but very hard-working young lady, Franca Wilson,
Mhm.
who is also on the board, and uh, Louis McSween.
Yes.
He joined the board a few months ago. I don't know if you're familiar with the Isa Trini Lime down at the embassy.
Yes, I am familiar, and that's what. Once again, see, you're always thinking ahead. That's another follow-up question that I had for you. But yes, I am familiar. Is that lime? Is that lime?
Right. So,
Is that lime? Is that lime? Is that lime? Right? Is that lime?
well, I thought it was Isa Lime, but his wife told me it's Isa. So I don't know which is. It's IZA. All right. But it has become very popular,
Yes,
and he and his wife and their group, they've put that on 2 years in a row, and it has gotten a lot of attention, even from the consulate down in Miami.
yeah.
They want to take it down there now.
Okay.
You know?
Wow.
But he has got a lot of experience in organizing. He's on the Governor's Council for Caribbean Affairs.
Yeah.
I believe his wife used to work in the mayor's office. So they have a lot of connections at that level, and they also have been able to give us a lot of guidance
Yes.
as to how we should do certain things and what have you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the makeup. I hope I didn't miss anybody out there. There are 9 of us.
Isn't there
And,
somebody that's ex professor from Howard?
Who's that?
Isn't there someone on a member that's a ex professor from Howard? If I remember correctly.
Oh, I can't think of an ex-professor. Well, there are members
Yeah.
who may have been ex-professors. One of my schoolmates from high school
Yeah.
has been attempting to join, and he is I think he taught chemistry at Howard.
Okay.
I I don't think, but he's not on the committee though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So what's the so the follow-up question that I had back to the Trinidad and Tobago Embassy, what's the relationship with the association and the Trinidad and Tobago Embassy?
Well, the relationship has been a very good relationship, because when our former ambassador was here, he was very much involved. He would attend meetings. He would address the membership and stuff like that. But now he's gone. We have a good relationship with the head of mission, Vanessa Rohit Ramru, and we also work with their communications person. And we share information with them whenever we have it, and to make sure that they know what we are doing, and stuff that's going on there that we should be aware of, they let us know as well.
Yes.
So the important thing is that their mission is to represent the country and support the community, and we try to mesh what we're doing as much as possible with what they're all about.
Yes. Well, once again, folks, if anyone have any questions, because we're actually live at the moment, or the perfect time to act. And of course, for more information on the Trinidad and Tobago Association, is www.ttab.org.
That's the Baltimore organization.
Oh, sorry, I'm messing it all up.
We are TTADC.
TTADC.
Trinidad and Tobago Association of Washington of DC, and TTAB is Trinidad and Tobago Association of Baltimore.
Yes. My sincerest apologies.
Oh no! Don't apologize. I'm glad that they are mentioned as well. There's another organization that we should talk about.
Go ahead.
That was formed when Ambassador Philip Spencer was here, and that's an organization called TTADC, which is the Trinidad and Tobago Diaspora Alumni Network.
Wow.
And what that was put together to do was to encourage secondary school alumni associations in North America to give back to their secondary schools in Trinidad. So I am a graduate of Trinity College.
Okay.
And they are graduates from QRC. Of course, you know about out of the blue thing. They've been doing that for years.
You're a bright boy, man.
Well,
I comprehend.
For what?
No, I say I'm a Eldo alumni. Eldorado.
Okay. Well, something I've come to realize is as the secondary school system in Trinidad has matured.
Yeah.
You have some good teachers in some of the schools that are supported by the churches and so on. But these what we used to call government secondary schools or central schools or whatever. A lot of these kids are going on to sixth forms in the other schools, and they're doing quite well. And I know quite a lot of people who have graduated from Diego Martin Secondary and are doctors. So one is in my family with my brother-in-law. So it's not a bright boy thing. Everybody don't learn and mature at the same rate.
That is joking. But goes back to my point. I've never heard of this organization. So once again,
which one?
The last one you just mentioned, the
TTADC.
Yeah, TTADC. I'm right there before I forget. TTADC.
Yeah.
I like the name, honestly. TTADC. All right, so I'm gonna
it is a kind of it is not very active because it's really a network of alumni associations, and the person who really kept it going was the ambassador. And the chairperson, I guess, I think she is doing her doctorate at Harvard right now. So I don't know whether that kind of it's not as active as it could be.
Yeah.
But we all aware of it, and we have a chat, and we communicate with each other. We tell each other what the different schools are doing and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
But our goal is to partner with everybody Trinbagonian, and keep the red, white, and black flying.
Yeah. I think that's very important, man. Back to TT Dan.
Yeah.
Back to that, because I'm thinking also, like I said, I'm a product of secondary comprehensive school, Blue Machine, El Dorado. I got a big
right.
But I think this is very important because, like you mentioned, Diego Martin and students graduating from there and moving on to becoming doctors and so forth. A lot of time we don't hear these stories. A lot of times we really don't hear these stories, and I think it's very important that many of us, in our own right of success, I think it's very important that some of these schools, we have the opportunity to actually go back or contribute, however way or form, to let kids there know that, hey, not because you're going to a school might have a bad name, like, I don't call a name specific, but you know what I mean. Some of the schools,
right? I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
East West Corridor have a reputation. Not because you're at that school means it ends there. The possibility do exist that they could become somebody.
Well, the good thing is that I think it's changing. And if you look at the school system in the United States, the prestige schools are private schools, which is what the St. Mary's and the Fatima and the were initially, but they're all now government schools. The government schools in this country cater, if all things were equal, they would cater for the students that live close to them. Whereas in Trinidad, the schools cater for who has the highest score, who has the lowest score, and that is not the right way. I mean, all of the schools should be as equal as possible. And if I live in Diego Martin, I should go to the Diego Martin Secondary School, and the Diego Martin Secondary School should have good enough teachers to take care of any bright boy that is going to school in Diego Martin. Same thing within El Dorado or wherever. And I think eventually the school system is gonna mature into that kind of structure if the Department of Education pays attention to what it should be. Because we gotta get away from them boys bright and them boys not bright. No. It don't really think about it. It makes no sense.
Yeah. But that's really talking. When we hear names like KRC and Fatima, normally come, oh, you're a right boy,
Again, that mold has to be crushed. And I'm not saying that the school should not remain a good school, but you gotta uplift the other schools.
Yes.
Because schools like Mukrapo Senior Comprehensive, I think they have a sixth form now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they didn't have a sixth form.
Really?
Right? Yeah. So, but things will improve.
Yes.
And it just needs people who are thinking outside the box to make things better for the community and for the country and all that.
Yes. Well, time check, 9:55 p.m. East Coast. Usually interviews an hour, so we're doing very, very well on time. So at this point, I'm getting ready to wrap it up. Pretty much any final remarks you want to give? I just personally want to thank you for taking time out. I know we had touched base early on a couple of weeks back, but scheduling and whatnot. So definitely appreciate you taking time out, a busy schedule, and to let you know also, I am going to sign up to be a member.
That was going to be my final remark.
I am. Trust me, kids being hey, what's going on here? I am going to sign up to be a member. I think it's very important, Yeah, it's very important, and I like what you guys doing. I have had the opportunity to actually sit into the last meeting you guys had
Uh-huh.
uh, via Zoom and whatnot, and I can tell the energy, and I can tell people are really serious about the direction of taking the association forward.
Right.
So I'm
So
very grateful.
so I could give you a little insight into the next meeting, which is going to be, I think it's on the 5th of December.
Okay.
We normally have a short business meeting where we announce, we talk about what went on in the last meeting, we talk about our finances, and we talk about our plans coming forward. But and we always have a speaker, and that is to let the community know what's going on in the community. This
Okay.
time we are going to have a speaker from the founder of an organization called the Cultural Academy for Excellence. Have you heard of them?
The patient
Cafe. Cafe.
cafe. It sounds familiar, but I
It
can't. I
sounds
don't.
familiar. Okay.
Yeah.
I used to be on their board many years ago. Both of
Okay.
my children belong or was associated with them in some way.
Okay.
But I tell them that they're the best kept secret in the DMV. Let me tell you about a little bit about Cafe.
Yes.
It's an organization that started 25 years ago
Okay.
by a woman by the name of Lorna Green.
Hmm.
Her daughter went to Trinidad on vacation. Her daughter was learning to play the piano here, right?
Okay.
She went to Trinidad on vacation, and her aunt signed her up to a steel band class,
Yeah.
and she got hooked. She came back and told her mother she didn't want to play the piano anymore. She
Really?
wants to play the band.
Yeah.
So, in order to compromise with this child, he said, "Okay, you keep your grades up. You'll be able to play the pan, but you have you had to keep your grades up." And
Yes.
she had this idea that, well, we could form a band and we can get other kids involved, but we're gonna use the pan to help them with their schoolwork.
Yeah.
So the pan was the catalyst to get them doing their schoolwork. And we have one guy who used to be a member of the Trinidad and Tobago Association. His nickname is Spirit.
Okay.
He tutors kids, and he's been doing this for many years in math at his home, right? So if they don't keep their grades up, they don't play, right? So it essentially was a Saturday academy,
Yeah.
and the kids do science and technology. They do the math, they do the English, and after they finish with their schoolwork, they do pan. But the proviso is that they have to learn to read and write.
Yeah. Yeah.
Music, all right?
I never heard of this.
So, yeah?
Never heard of this.
Yeah. So if you see some of the bands, especially Pan Masters Steel Orchestra
Yep.
in DC, most of the players in that band can read. They are musical, they're literate in music.
Wow.
The literacy rate among steel pan players in DC is higher than probably most of the other cities where Trinidad and Tobago kids are playing pan. Because I learned to learn to play by rote. I used to play bass. I had to memorize everything. These kids can take a piece of music and know exactly what to play, and in no time they got the entire tune. So she is going to come in and talk to us about what she has done over the 25 years and the kind of success that some of her students had, and that she's going to be the speaker at our next meeting.
Okay. Well, definitely looking forward to hearing her speak, and
I would even go so far as to say that I can send you her contact information.
Yes, please.
She would be a good interview for you as well, because the community needs to know what they're doing. They're doing some really good work, some fantastic. And they've because of them. My son went to Senegal with them.
Okay.
A lot of the kids they go back to Trinidad and play with QRC I think they have a relationship with QRC and some of the high schools down there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do some really good work. They do some really good, and again, it's very quiet. You're not hearing much about it.
Yeah.
But they've been doing some fantastic work.
But thanks so much for sharing and bringing light to that, because once again, I never knew of it. I'm very familiar with Pan Masters. I've introduced them many a times. Very much familiar with a lot of the players, of course, the group and anything. But I never knew that backstory. And actually, one of the interviews I want to kind of line up moving forward, because they've been around a long time and a lot of young talent came through Pan Masters. Well, Mr. Wiloughby, Francis Wiloughby, once again, thanks so much. And of course, I just want to, your event coming up November,
the Yuletide Affair, December the 5th.
December the 5th.
Right.
Of course, folks can get tickets on the website.
Right. You can go to the website and you can get tickets on there. You go to our store. We have a storefront. You can buy the tickets right on the storefront, and come out and have a good time at our Yuletide Affair.
Yes, I definitely will be there, and I will make sure and add that link to the top after the interview, so people can just click to the website. So with that, boy, I really, really appreciate it. And like I said, I ain't just talking that talk. I am going to sign up, so you can call me official member.
Okay, we looking forward to having you, and thanks for attending the last meeting. And we know that's not going to be your last.
No, not at all, not at all.
Right. Okay. All right, Alonzo. Sorry. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for helping us to spread the word. Is this going to be on YouTube or somewhere where we can post a link?
Yes. So it will be on YouTube and other podcast streaming platforms. But I'm going to send you a copy of the whole interview.
A link to it. Okay, very good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, put it in the archives.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll make sure that the link is on the website so that folks can take a look at it and tell me whether I said anything that was wrong that needs to be correct.
Now you're good, man.
Right.
If you need to do a part 2, you can make it happen too. Don't worry yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, boss. Give thanks.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Yes, man. Thank you. Team.
Right.
Yes, that's Mr. Wiloughby, Francis Wiloughby of Trinidad and Tobago. I kind of messed up. I said TTAD, but the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Washington, D.C. Very informative information. Guys, definitely, do your best to support. And of course, FYI, the podcast or the Alonzo Bash show is now called, if you guys know this, is now called the Alonzo Bash podcast. A lot of the shows will be on Facebook. And there may be some snippets here and there on Facebook, but most of the interviews will be on YouTube. Sorry, to make sure and subscribe. I want you guys definitely to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I need you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel and to get those numbers up. And that's pretty much it. So with that, guys, I will bid you guys a good night and see you guys on the return. All right, peace.